Hi, my name is Mariel Miller, and I am a Regis DPT student, class of 2022, and I am gonna go through a little video, answer some questions so you can get to know me a little bit better. First question is areas of specialization that interest me. So throughout our course, I think one of my major interests has been manual therapy in our MSK curriculum thread. So I've really enjoyed being able to put my hands on people. I think that creates a really special, unique, trusting relationship with someone. So that's certainly something that I would like to learn more about and maybe hone my skills on. Additionally, I was lucky enough to volunteer at Craig Hospital when I was an undergrad, and it was such a life-changing experience to work with a neuro population. They're different than anyone else. They're so grateful and wonderful and positive, and it really solidified going into physical therapy as a career for me. So I would say those are two major areas of interest for me. 2, describe your ability to be flexible during your clinical education experience and strategies you typically use to be successful in clinical. So flexibility, I've come to learn, is of the utmost importance, especially considering I've spent almost my entire DPT career working in the pandemic, studying in the pandemic. So when you are in a field that is changing day by day, hour by hour, flexibility is of the utmost importance, and I understand that. So I would say that adaptability is one of my strengths. I am able to take in new information and change course quickly if needed be. So change and adaptability, flexibility does not scare me. Secondly, what would I do to be successful in clinical experience? I have 2 pretty simple things that I like to do to prepare for clinic, and one is set goals, write them down. I would like to have a couple overarching goals for the entire clinical experience, which then I like to break down into weekly, daily goals that are just little things that I can improve on every day that add up to help make a big change. And secondly is just being prepared. Reading the literature before you come into certain situations or clinical settings, I should say. I like to look ahead at the schedule. Is there a patient with a disorder that I'm less familiar with or a condition? Then that's my job to go home and do that homework. Prepare, come up with an intervention plan of care. When would they be discharged likely? So that's on me to make sure that I'm prepared to do the best that I can coming in that day. Describe examples of how you have accepted constructive feedback and how you would communicate your need for feedback with your CI. So Regis has done a wonderful job of preparing its students to give and receive feedback tactfully. So I just want to be the best PT that I can be. So giving feedback is a huge part of that, and I'm lucky that Regis has incorporated that into every aspect of our classes. We practice with our fellow students all the time. On a side note, I have several years of non-PT experience working in the business world, and I am familiar with the monthly managerial progress meetings and review sessions and, where are you lacking? What can we tweak? So that process is familiar with me, and I certainly welcome feedback just to improve myself. What I like to do with my CI is I prefer to have a time on our schedule, maybe once a week, where I can sit down. I can say, hey, how am I doing? What can I do better? Can I get some feedback on this particular technique I'm trying to learn? So I think that's really helpful in aiding my journey towards, being a good clin ed student. What additional preparations do you plan to prepare before clinical setting? Certainly, I will research, depending on what setting I'm in. I like to research that population, common techniques that we'd use. Regis certainly has lots of resources for us to do that. I also like to reach out to my CI directly, ask if there's anything specific they want me to know. Do you work with a certain population more than others? Is there anything you'd like me to brush up on before I come? So I think that's a good technique to become prepared as well. And then finally, what are my goals for after graduation? So probably like most people, my goal after graduation is to find a position that offers mentorship and growth opportunity. I want to work with a team that has a solid knowledge base, that is open to helping each other out, bouncing ideas off of one another. So that's the kind of setting I'm looking for. More specifically, I'd really like to work on my manual therapy techniques and get certified in dry needling.